Hello, my darlings. Please come in. How are you all doing today? All right. All right. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Yes, I like that one better. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. There is always an absolutely absurd delay between when I speak and when StreamYard gives it to YouTube and YouTube gives it to y'all for y'all to hear it. Okay. Nestos shackle shuffle walk of shame. Listen, I say it every time and I'm gonna keep saying it. Your name always takes me out and I love it. Mystery Moon, Miss Anonymous. Hey girl, how you been doing? CN1, hello. Sexy RN, hello. Wait a minute, you talking about she in another country? Yes, Thursday. Today's Thursday. Natasha, Sleepy Bee. Okay, perfect. Okay, you there in hot ass Georgia? Oh wow. Okay. You in Georgia, girl? Do you live in Georgia? Are you in the Atlanta area? Are you in the Atlanta area, Miss Anonymous? Let me know. Let me know, girl. Hey, Simply the Best. Hey, how you doing? That's right, you are in Augusta. Okay, I was about to ask because one of my friends is in the Eta Sigma Gamma Rho chapter, grad chapter, Eta Sigma. And I was going to ask if you were in her chapter, you may know her. And then, if you know her, you'll get to find out who I am. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, one of my homegirls from college. Hello. Hello. Hey girl, how you doing? Sweet Ace of Silhouette. You say 1,000 deep. Listen, that chapter, I love that for them. I love that for them. But yeah, Eta Sigma chapter. The heart and soul of Atlanta, as they say. I do miss Atlanta MPHC life or Southern MPHC life because listen, it'd be lit. It'd be lit, you know, because that's the 7D for Mega Sci-Fi, and then that's the South Atlantic region for AKA. And South Atlantic region is the biggest region in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Listen, we run it. And that's where I was made, honey. So I really, really do miss Southern Greek life. I really do miss it. It's whack out here. It's whack. It's whack out here in California, and it's whack, honey. It's whack. Um. Anywho, so um, the biggest, yes, exactly. See, it's all of our biggest regions, except for probably for IOTAs because they are northeastern based. But yeah, listen, listen. I really, really do miss it. I was saying to myself one year I was gonna go to seersuckers and sundresses. Never made it. Never made it to seersuckers and sundresses. But I hear it's live every year. I hear it's a whole vibe. I hear it's a whole vibe. But anyway, not the ditch diggers. Don't do that. Don't do that, Miss Anonymous. Don't do that. We're gonna be nice. You went to seersuckers and sundresses. How was it? Is that the peak? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking Greek chat life with Miss Anonymous real quick. Just give me a couple seconds. How was it? I think that's the PKK chapter. Is that the PKK chapter of Omega Sci-Fi? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Mr. Hoodoo has friends in all of those chapters. PKK, the Marietta chapter, um, Yeah, he has friends in all of the Q chapters around Atlanta. Okay, so it is PKK. Okay, yeah. It's the whole thing. It's a whole thing. I was gonna go and then like we moved. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh, I miss it. I miss a good probate. I miss the probates. I miss the probates. I miss the cookouts and being that Mr. Hoodoo, he's a Q, he's an Omega, going to the events. I'm already spoken for, I'm already protected. Please give me all of the chicken, okay, off the grill. The bros be grilling. Please give me the chicken. Okay, I'm here for the chicken. Okay. To sit with my lawn chair with my sorors and eat that chicken. Okay. I don't want no Q oil, but let me get the chicken. He said Q chicken and Q oil. Listen, I don't want no oil. I don't want no oil. I don't want no parts of no oil. But let me get the chicken. Listen, they really do. They really do. Like I remember one time I went to my husband's chapter had an event at some restaurant slash lounge, and I went or whatever. Be fun. Listen, some of his chapter bros was just like, where your LSs at? Where are your LSs? Call your LSs and tell them to come over here. I'm like, sir, I am not bringing any of my good LSs over here for y'all's debauchery. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, let me get some of them lemon pepper wings though. Um, let me get some of them lemon pepper wings. It was like a platter on the table. I sat, and that's when I was still fat. I sat and I ate my chicken. Okay, and then I met some other sorors came, and it was a good time, and they was hopping in the plate. The queue's gonna get together. They gonna hop. It ain't enough space, but they gonna hop. Okay. Always, always, always good time. So I do miss that. The summer fun, the summer parties. Yeah, the different events, the masquerade balls, the yeah, just being out. Okay, being outside. Being outside. Seeing one always laughing. Uh-huh. Miss Anonymous said that chicken fresh off the grill is life. It really is. Especially when some like one year Mr. Hoodoo, he was on the grill because some of them other ones couldn't be trusted. One year he was on the grill. Now, one thing Mr. Hoodoo can do is he can cook. He can cook, he can grill, he can smoke, he makes desserts. Listen, he's a all-around unofficial chef. And one year he was on the grill. So yeah, I was just like, make sure you put my wings to the side. They can have them drumsticks, but please put me about 4 wings to the side, baby. And he did, and the sides were bumping. It was nice. They tried to get me out there on the floor. They play back that ass up, juvenile. And I was like, you ain't finna have me out here tooting it up out here in company, in front of company. I had to keep it cute. I had to keep it AKA cute and pretty at the table. You ain't finna be having me out here grabbing my ankles, throwing it back and throwing it in the circle because my song is on. Okay. You ain't gonna even do that. Natasha said she went to some Q events in Kuwait. It was off the chain. Yes, ma'am. She said, nah, we brought the ones that are always out. Yeah. She said, ooh, even at the PWIs, they had gumbo, steak, shrimp, and all the chicken. Yes. Sleepy B said, yeah, California's Black Greek life scene is whack. It is. It is whack. When me and the Soras were down in Anaheim earlier this month, we were just like, so where the parties at? Y'all ain't got no parties? And I was talking to one Sora who lives in the like LA area. I was like, Sora, we're gonna be down there. Like, what are parties and stuff at? She was just like, girl, it just don't happen down here. I was just like, what? This is shameful. Next year, we're gonna be in Vegas. Next summer, we're gonna be in Vegas. So July 15-ish, July 18-ish in Vegas. Oh, baby, we going to turn up. We're going to turn up. And Mr. Hoodoo was coming with me. He was just like, oh, Vegas? Oh, yeah, he coming. So I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Hey, Mons. So, yes, you always ask who on the grill. Seeing one is laughing at me. Listen, I'm for real. I'm for real. They tried it. They tried it with the back that ass up. I was like, I can't do all that. I'm gonna have to take my letters off. You ain't finna catch me out here. I ain't finna be on Greek shenanigans. Okay. You ain't gonna be like, oh, look at this K out here on TikTok showing her hole behind. It ain't finna be me. Ain't gonna be me. Ain't gonna be me. Okay. I see them GS3 submissions on Instagram. I be clutching my pearls. I be clutching my pearls like, ooh, they can't catch me. They ain't gonna catch me, honey. But anyway, y'all. So listen, uh we have had discussions about please don't be out here on Greek shenanigans, baby. Okay, because you don't want big AKA out here trying to tap you on your shoulder, like, ma'am, what you doing? What is you doing? What is you doing, boo? Okay. We're not gonna do that, but I will, I'll get up and do the electric slide and the wobble and all like that, and just dance respectfully. Dance respectfully. Dance respectfully. When I'm out there, at the events and stuff, dance respectfully. Now my LSs, that's something different. That's something different. They my LSs, they turn up. They turn up. I miss them. I miss my line sisters so much. I really do. Really, really, really miss them. And everyone keeps asking, are you moving back to Atlanta? No, baby, I'm not. I'm not. But they bringing their asses to Vegas next year. So they bringing their asses to Vegas next year. I don't know what we gonna get into, but I'm gonna be good because Mr. Hoodoo will be there in case it's like in case of an emergency. Hubby will be there. So you said, what if I do it back that back? Listen. I'm dancing to it right now in my chair. What? What? Y'all are laughing. You say Mama SG Road on play. Yes, yes, yes. Big AKA. Don't be out here calling big AKA. Don't be getting, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We will be in Tampa. They not ready. Listen, all I can tell you that New Orleans does not want to see the Qs anymore because Mr. Hoodoo went to their conclave in New Orleans in 2018. New Orleans don't want to see them no more. Mm-mm. Charlotte 2022, Mr. Hoodoo went there and I went with him to their conclave in Charlotte. Let me tell y'all, off the chain, off the chain. It was great. It was amazing. He didn't go this year. He didn't go this year, but or last year, really like his work schedule. But yeah, he was like he might go next year. But I'm like, well, if it's gonna be the same time during Vegas, you're gonna have to make a decision, honey. Because that Vegas, and they got Uno at Vegas. Listen, Uno at them tables in Vegas, you gonna see the news stories. Las Vegas Police Department was called to X, Y, and Z casino after violence erupted at the Uno table. Like you gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. Everybody was just like, all the black people who don't play spades, we're up. We're up. Vegas and Uno. So we don't Vegas and Uno. Listen, oh, it was a whole mess. It was a whole mess. I heard about it. I heard about it. That was 2018. I was, he went and I was at work. I had worked from home back then. I was like, okay, sir. Well, it was interesting. Yeah, they got Oh, you ain't here. Uno is at Vegas now. They're having Uno tables at the casinos. It's gonna be a thing or soon gonna be a thing. Listen, I don't know how to play spades. I do not know how to play spades, but I play Uno. So I'm thinking about it. Like, do I even put my hand in the ring? What kind of rules are y'all gonna be playing with? Okay. You said, "Q, you can come hide out in Vegas at my house and get all the way turned. Only rowdy activities over it." Listen, okay, you, and Nyla gonna have to get together. Okay, me, you, and Nyla gonna have to get together and do some things in Vegas, honey. Go find us some rich activities to get into. Go find us some rich activities to get into, honey, in Vegas. I mean, the three of us, we can go for like pedicures and mimosas and brunch and shit like that. So I will definitely be hitting you up, Natasha. Oh, Lilith, y'all see Lilith all the time. Lilith's Revenge, you'll see her in Nyla's chat. She's in Vegas too. So I'm gonna have to hit up Lilith, Natasha, Nyla, and we're gonna have to get together for some rich activities. Some rich activities. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Some rich activities, some fun activities in Vegas next year. In Vegas. Okay. I'm here to eat good because you can definitely eat good in Vegas. So I'm gonna be at somebody's buffet. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be so ready to be at somebody's buffet. I'm gonna make my buffet reservation like 2 months out. Okay. I'm gonna be small enough to where I'm a big back and it won't even matter. Okay. So listen, I'm here for it. And Natasha is the absolute cutest. Listen, the Bellagio has some nice lounges. Okay, girl. Yes, we're gonna go. We're gonna spray our milkshake. Cause I sure loved when me and my girls was getting our drinks bought. When we were in Anaheim. Yeah, that man said get them whatever they want. Oh, really? Thank you, kind sir. We'll take some of these. We'll take these. Okay. So we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be ready. I'm calling Natasha. Natasha, girl, we ready. I'm calling Nyla. I'm calling Natasha. I'm gonna call Lilith. And we're gonna go get into some things. Okay. Amen. We're gonna go get into some things. Amen. So I'm just chit-chatting, just talking shit. So what did you all want to get into today? I can do some because I kind of wanted to review some charts, but I didn't know if that was gonna be boring for you all for me to review some charts and kind of talk about some things in some charts. Or we can do like we can do what's it called? Spiritual consultations today. Some spiritual consultations. I can't do tarot yet because I gotta go get my nails done. I'm going to get my nails done tomorrow. So after my nails are done, then I can like pull some cards. So what y'all want to get into today? You were at the Bellagio. That's where you say when you were there. You said, "Let me look at Vegas tickets." Yes, honey. Yes, 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 honey. You said Vegas tickets. Yeah, I think I can tell you the dates right now for Vegas Boule. I can tell you the dates right now. The dates are because the sewers were asking because the dates actually changed. Um, Let me look. I'm about to tell you right now when the dates are. Okay. July 17th to July 23rd, 2026. So like yeah, or like July 18th to the 24th. July 18th to the 24th is when Pink and Green is coming to take over Vegas. And I hope Vegas, y'all need to be ready because it's going to be at least 20,000 of us there. So, but those are the exact dates, July 18th to the 24th, baby. So, whose charts? I was looking at some charts. I don't want to be too depressing. I was looking at Virginia Giuffre's chart. And Virginia Giuffre, she was the Epstein victim that unalived herself back in April of this year. Virginia Giuffre, I was looking at her chart. Now, I was looking at Newsom's chart too. We kind of talked about that. So I don't know if y'all want to talk about his chart. I haven't done a full breakdown on Newsom, but if you want to, we could talk about his chart and my suspicions as to why I think he's an opportunist. I also have a series of charts in where I think I have come across a signature for domestic domestic terrorism here in the United States, a specific form of domestic terrorism. So that is an option. Or we can just do spiritual consultations. It's up to y'all. Or we can just do spiritual consultations today. Um, and I gotta make sure I give y'all information about what's happening this month in August because there are gonna be some tense moments this month in August. Of course, it depends on your personal chart. There are gonna be some tense moments, and then the eclipses are happening in September. So we're gonna have the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse um in September, and they're about to shake some things up too. Tosh said spiritual advice. You said you won't forget that's your mom's birthday. You said no, let's do it. Hey, Empress girl. I'm okay with looking at her as Virginia Giuffre. Not on a dirty lemonade. Hey, Mel. Yeah, like I said, the one that has been my little astrological project that I've been looking at, I have been compiling charts of a certain type of domestic terrorism here in the United States, and I noticed 99% of the time I've noticed this particular signature, astrological signature. So I'm just like, okay, okay. Domestic terrorism or the ladies chart. Either way, I'm so glad you're here, Mel. Yes, tacos. Nope, it wasn't those. It wasn't those. Mm-mm. So y'all got to tell me what y'all want to look at. Or we can do spiritual consultations, or we can do both. What is going on? Hold on one second. What's going on, Jesus? I gotta make sure I do my nail appointment for tomorrow because I will forget. I will forget, honey. I will forget. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I actually got disgusted last night. For some reason, I was in Netflix last night and the show The Hunting Wives is like the popular show on Netflix right now. And I was just like, okay, it's usually not the type of stuff that I watch. Like I like more political drama, more intrigue, or like spy stuff or like sci-fi stuff, right? I'm like The Hunting Wives on Netflix. With the first episode and all that sexual grooming, the grooming vibes and the pedophilia vibes in the first episode, I'm like, I can't watch this shit. I can't watch that. I was just like, I was thoroughly disgusted. I was disgusted at the grooming and the allusion to pedophilia in the first episode. I was disgusted. I'm like, I ain't watching this shit. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay, but I just had to say that I was just like I know we like, good drama series and stuff like that, but y'all just gonna put the grooming and the alluding to pedophilia and yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Y'all said domestic terrorism and then Virginia's spiritual advice or both domestic terrorism, spiritual advice. Yeah, I was watching that first episode. I'm like, I ain't watching this shit no more. Yeah, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I'm just like, ma'am, you don't see the weird. Yeah. And these were adults. These were adult. The main chick in the show. This is an adult. I'm like, no, you got me fucked up. Explaining both of what to you, baby? Which woman explained to you, baby? And I'm drinking my nasty tea. I'm drinking chai tea, which chai tea is good, but I put my collagen powder in it because the collagen powder tastes like gristles, ground up gristles, and it's terrible. So I'm just gonna have to let this tea cool off so I can just gulp this down. Oh, you said my okay. Okay, let me put up a banner. Thank y'all. You know I'll be forgetting the banner. Okay, let me go back to the comments. Yeah, what do you mean, darling? Explaining them to you, Nesto's shackle, shuffle, walk, or something. Nesto's girl. What do you want me to explain to you, baby? Oh, Miss Anonymous, you've been watching it. Yeah, Margot. I'm like, listen, this grooming shit. I was just like, I can't watch this. I can't watch that because, baby, that's the prelude to sexual assault. Like, I can't watch this. I can't watch that. Okay, Nesto, you have Nesto shuffle, Nesto shackles. NS3, you have to tell me what you're talking about. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll bring up some let me start with the domestic terrorism stuff. Something I've been looking at, and then we can get to Virginia Giuffre. Just looking at the charts, and then we can just talk about other stuff too. So let me bring this stuff in, y'all. Let me make sure my okay. Window, entire screen. What do I have up right now? Let me do this. Let me pull it up. You say the two choices I offer for the topic. Okay, so let me explain before I bring this in. So, one of the things that I've been looking at as it pertains to domestic terrorism in the United States are the every time there's like a weird bombing. Every time there's a weird bombing, because stuff like that, of course, it makes the news, right? I'm nosy. I like to investigate so many different things. So I was just like, okay, well, let me just look at this. So I was looking at some bombings that occurred here in the United States that were, for the most part, domestic terrorism for the most part. This isn't like another country, not like 9/11. 9/11 was quote unquote outsiders, right? I'm talking about people here in the United States that had whatever gripe and decided they wanted to plant a bomb and explode a bomb. So I have like at least 6 charts that I've looked at, and I haven't done super deep dives on them, but I was looking at like what aspects were coming up frequently when these events occurred. And I think I found something that I kind of want to share with y'all. The other choice would be to look at potentially Virginia Giuffre's astrology chart, because when all of this, Epstein stuff has come back up, and she, it was said by her family that she unalived herself earlier this year, right? So, we just look at things. Or spiritual consultations in which you all ask your spiritual questions. I provide spiritual advice, and it can be part of our community day. So, does that make sense for you, Nestos shackles? Let me know if that makes sense. Um, yeah. Let me know if that makes sense. Something else I was looking at. I was looking at Princess Diana's chart. It was meant to her for her to become royalty, but it absolutely was detrimental to who she was as a person. You can see that in her chart as well. Okay, so let me just pull in some charts real quick. I'm pulling some charts. Let me pull in some charts. Let me just start with now. Let me remove this. Let me bring this in. Why does my computer sound like this? Oh, because I was being nosy. Okay. Let me close some of these tabs on my computer, because my computer over here like, please, ma'am, please help me. Because I have all the tabs open. Okay. Yeah, no, I have her chart too. And like I have her charts, and then the chart of the time of crash, and then the chart where she was pronounced dead. And you can literally see it's terrible. It's terrible. So let me just bring this in for y'all. Let me just share a screen so we can, because it's actually pretty terrible. Okay, it says Okay, y'all. So let me start with domestic terrorism. We won't stay on this for a long time. I just want to show you all something. So I was looking for um thank you, girl. Thank you. Yeah, I was looking for like I said, I was just curious. So let's just talk quickly about domestic terrorism. Okay. So I was looking through um select chart one. Okay. So I was looking through some things, right? And like when was like the like some recorded domestic terrorism in the form of bombings, people being mad at whatever. When did they occur? And is there something to this? Is there an astrological signature? Because remember, what was it, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, we reviewed the video as far as the potential for an astrological signature for pandemics, right? We reviewed that video. If you have not seen that video, go back to my astrology playlist and go review the video. Is there an astrological signature to pandemics? Right? So go back and view that video. It was a great review. That was not my work. I was reviewing the video of another astrologer. So that was really good, right? That was really good because this is all we really do. We sit back and we look at stuff in history and we see what was happening, pattern recognition, right? So yeah, this was a bombing case that happened in 1917. 1917. It was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There was a guy, okay, there was a guy who was he was mad at the police department for whatever reason. You can go look it up yourself. And we see, yeah, yeah. We see there's a grand trine here. There's a grand fire trine here. This big blue triangle here. We have a grand fire trine here, right? I was like, okay. And trines are just easy flowing points of energy, right? They're easygoing, they reinforce each other, they help things happen easier. It's not necessarily always a good thing. Sometimes, like when people are like naturally good at things, some of them think that they're just going to be good at everything. And then like they won't practice, they won't prepare themselves for something, and then they fail. So grand trines can bring that type of energy to a person where they won't even try to improve themselves because they've always been lucky. And, so grand trines, even though trines are quote unquote some of the more positive aspects when it comes to astrology, they can make people lazy. And it's just a really good, easygoing transfer of energy. Okay. So that's that. So we see this trine. So we actually see there's an easygoing, energetic flow happening on this day at the time of this bombing. Now, I found it quite interesting. I was like, okay, it was November of 1917. The sun was in Sagittarius. It was Sagittarius season. And we have Mercury here in Sagittarius. So we have like a same sign, quote unquote, conjunction. They're not really conjunct, but we have same sign energy right here. And I noticed this is happening here in this is the sixth house. This is the sixth house of what do you do on a day-to-day basis? How do you um how do you do your work? What do you do for work? So I was like, okay, so that's interesting right there. Yeah. So what I found is that this bombing at this police station, I was like, okay, so I noted everything happening here. This right here is happening in the sixth house of service to others, service providers, duties, um, the living systems in the society or for a person, things that are scheduled, a police department absolutely falls under that. Okay? Absolutely falls under that. So that was 1917. I was like, okay, that's cool. Let me get to the next one. So that was not 1917. The next one that I'm going to show you is, and I'm gonna tell you in a moment. Let me see where it is. It was okay. Let me see. Is there another one? Was there one from the 30s? Let me check. Oh, yes, there was one from the 30s. Okay. So let's look at this one. There were some bombings called the cigar box bombings. This was in 1936. So we went from 1917 to 1936, and it just really depends on, when an event happens. I went on Wikipedia and I looked at all the different domestic terrorism bombings in the United States. What do we see here? And these were like bombs that was put on somebody's porch. What do we see here? What do we see here? Bombs are hot, explosive. Uh-huh. What do we have here? The sun is in Aries. The sun is in Aries, conjunct Neptune in Aries. So we have this here. In all of these cases that I have seen, in almost all of these cases I have seen, the sun and Mercury were in a hot sign. Were in a fire sign. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, sure. And you can go type in cigar box bombings, April 1936. The information will come up. So I'm like, okay. And look at this. Moon is in a hot sign too. We have another trine going on. This is yeah, we have another trine going on. Slight trine. Slight trine. Okay. Yeah, because by this time the moon had just entered Sagittarius. It was in Scorpio earlier that day. So we have the sun, we have the Aries here. Sun and Mercury in Aries. Okay. 1936. Let's go to the next one, which will be mm, am I going to go 96 or am I going to go, let me see which is the other one. Which is the other one? Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so now what do we have here? Those of us who are old enough, we remember the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, the bombing there. What do we have here? We have Mercury and the sun in a fire sign. So once again, this was the third domestic terrorism bombing case that I was looking at. Sun and Mercury in a hot sign. And coincidentally, the moon is in a hot sign as well. Okay, let's look at another one. 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 Okay, um let's go to this one. The Boston Marathon bombing, April of 2013. What do we have? Not only is the sun conjunct this fierce bombing sign, the sun and Mercury are in the same sign again. Same sign again. I don't know what it is with the sun and Mercury being in the same fiery sign. This I saw it here. Let's go to another one. Let's go to another one. Let me see if I can find another one. Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, yeah. Here was one from the 50s. Here's another one from the 50s. This was the George Metesky bomb. Now, this was someone he was upset at things. He set off a lot of bombs. This is one of the first one of his bombs that really like went off. What do we have here? We don't really know when this went off, but the moon, let's go back an hour and see. If we go back an hour or two, the moon would have been in a hot sign. But go back to 12 because that's when the chart was for. But we have Mercury and the sun and even Mars getting in on the axis on the axis. Let's look at another one. Let's look at another. Let's look at another. Let's look at another. Let's look at another one. Let me find another one. Let's look at another one. It was one that happened. Now, this is the one where it's really it's off a little bit. It's off a little bit, but still, the Oklahoma City bombing, 1995. We do have the sun in a hot sign. Mercury had been in Taurus for a few days, but it's still kind of here. And then we have the moon in a hot sign. I notice there's been a lot of moon in Sagittarius, and then we also have Mars here in a hot sign too. This is the only one out of all the ones that I've looked at where Mercury is not in there with the sun. This is the only one. Let's look at another 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 one. It was one that was recent as well. Let me find it. It was one that was recent. That was just last year. Look at this. So last year there was someone dropped a bomb off at um the Satanic Temple Church in Boston, Massachusetts. So last year, you can go look it up. The Satanic Temple porch bomb. A bomb was placed on their porch of the Satanic Temple in Salem, Massachusetts. What do we have again? The moon in a hot sign. Sun in a hot sign. Mercury is retrograde, but still in a hot sign. And this was last year. So to me, and we've seen these charts. I presented like between 4 and 6 charts. Domestic terrorism here in the United States. People be in a hot emotional feelings. Okay, moon is normally in a hot sign, but the sun and Mercury are in a hot sign as well. You literally can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. And this is only for domestic terrorism in the form of bombings here in the United States. So I went from 1917 to 2024. It's absolutely a thing. It's absolutely a thing. It's absolutely a thing. So it's absolutely a thing. The only time I really didn't see, and like it doesn't really match for like embassies and stuff, or like when there are attacks on like the USS Cole and stuff like that, it doesn't really work there. But it works when it's just like one person, or maybe two-person, like making these bombs and dropping these bombs off. It absolutely is a thing. It absolutely is a thing. And I was trying to see if let me see this. Let me see this. Yeah, it absolutely is a thing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it absolutely could be. So Sun in a fire sign, and then when you have like Mercury in the fire sign, so we're having personal planets in these fire signs, often with the moon in a fire sign. So people are just angry and riled up and like emotional. But you literally can't make this up. You literally cannot make it up. So I was just like, oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So that was that, yeah, that's something I was just like, okay. It's those planets. It's those planets. So if you all see any other um if you all see of any other um domestic terroristic bombings in the United States, it has to be domestic terrorism here in the United States for it to qualify. That is the qualifier. Send those to me. Like I said, I was working from dates on a Wikipedia page of like domestic terrorism in the United States. Kind of was looking at like FBI stuff, because I mean domestic terrorism it could be some of anything, but I was specifically looking at bombings. I think what the next thing I'm going to look at are like these shootings, these mass shootings, to see if there's a signature there. So right now, it is my theory that domestic terrorism bombings in the United States have the sun, Mercury, and possibly the moon and Mars in a hot sign, because I've just showed you all the charts where this applies. Yeah, I have to look at those differently. I have to look at those. Yeah. El Boogie says, seems like passion magnify, even if the passion harms other. Absolutely. And when we're talking about these hot signs, unfortunately, some of the characteristics of them are they're selfish. Okay. Aries is me, me, me. That's some of the energy with Aries is me, 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 I. Sagittarius is a Jupiter ruled sign, but it's a hot sign. And like some people with Sagittarius moons, they're emotional. Um, Not only emotional, but they're gonna be ones just doing whatever. Like some of them are like loosey goosey, busted wide open for anything. Not all the time, but you see that there. So these hot signs where passion flows, where the heat is going to expand things. Yeah, yeah, it absolutely is a thing. Um, Let me show you all something else. So that's my theory on that. That's my theory on that. That's my theory on that. Let me go to this right here. Um, yeah, this is pretty sad. I just want to show something really quickly. Okay. This is Princess Diana's birth chart. This is Princess Diana's birth chart. Um, Let me just add something in real quick. Let me add something in. Um, Let me add something else. Stars. Let me just add something in real quick so you all can see. Okay. This is Diana's chart. This is Diana's chart. Okay. This is Diana's birth chart. She was born July 1st, 1961. She was a Cancer sun, um, Sagittarius rising, and she was an Aquarius moon. Right off the bat, you all can see this T-square action right here. If you look if you look at the top of the chart, so I added in Regulus. Regulus is a fixed star. Um, Regulus is a fixed star. It's there in the sign of Leo, but it's it's the king star. It's the royalty star. Okay? Donald Trump also has Regulus because Donald Trump is a Leo rising, I believe. Donald Trump is a Leo rising sign, and he has Regulus there. Him having Regulus in his first house is part of the reason why he gets out of so much shit. Okay, they be calling him Teflon Don. The Regulus it's pretty much like a good luck star. Hmm. So yeah, but look at this. I want you all to look at it and see. Now, when it comes to fixed stars, a lot of astrologers don't pay attention to fixed stars unless the fixed stars are within 1 degree of certain aspects in the of certain planets in a chart. She has Regulus 29 degrees. It is conjunct her north node. Princess Diana, okay, she was Lady Diana because her parent was one of those royal titles, I forgot. It was destined for her to become royalty. It was destined for her to become royalty. It was destined for her to become royalty. Unfortunately, you have Uranus right here. Uranus is in a loose 5 degree orb with her north node, but this was coming on to her suddenly. Because if you go back and you read the stories, Prince Charles, he was originally talking to, it was like her sister or her roommate or something like that. He was originally talking to them. She wasn't the one that Prince Charles was originally after. It wasn't until his dad, I mean, yeah, it wasn't until his dad, um, Philip, told him, like, yeah, you may want to check her out. So this came on her out of the blue. Okay. This came on her out of the blue. Let me make this bigger so you all can see. Yeah, this came on her out of the blue. So she was destined, uh-huh. She was destined, uh-huh, to become quote unquote royalty. Okay? She was destined to become royalty. Okay? Fixed star. Okay, fixed star right here conjunct her north node. Okay, Empress Kia said it was her sister. Yeah. So Charles wasn't even really talking to Diana at first. It was the sister he was talking to. And then, it was kind of like, okay, he was kind of pushed onto Diana, but she wasn't originally the choice. So royalty being considered, to be married into the royal family, this was a shock to her. But you can look here. You see this T square. T squares are Houston, we have a problem. And there are tensions here. How are we going to get through this? And normally we say, like, when there's a T squares, so you have the opposition right here. You have the opposition of her this here, opposite down here, and the way that you're supposed to get through the T square is the planet at the apex of the triangle, which is Venus. Okay? So, let me remove that. Yeah. So, this was it was not good for her. So her as a person, her as a woman, this her becoming royalty here, the way that she was supposed to get through it is stepping into, you know, her royal duties. But I'm really looking at this Venus here as her motherhood. Remember, once she became a mother, she was just like, listen, this is some bullshit, right? This is some bullshit. So this is here. But yeah, and see her having this here, right here, her north node. And remember, I was talking to you all about this is, this is critical degree, absolutely critical for her. Absolutely critical for her. But yes, her son is in Cancer, and she was the people's princess. Her moon is in Aquarius down here at the bottom of the chart. Her moon was in Aquarius. She was, Aquarius as a sign is ruled by Saturn. Okay, ruled by Saturn. And she was the people's princess. Aquarius is that um community society sign. Okay, a lot of people who are like social justice workers will have like very prominent Aquarius placements. Okay, so she was the better of them damn people over there. Absolutely, absolutely. um so yeah, so this is her birth chart, right? This is her birth chart. She had money. Jupiter is here. Um, she had money. She grew up with money, so she wasn't like poor or anything like that. But she was quote unquote royalty. So it's literally baked into her chart. Now, if we open the chart of the crash, um, okay, the crash. Now, if you all remember, we just looked at her chart. She had her moon, her natal moon was in her third house, her third house of Aquarius. This is the day. This is the time of the crash. I was looking over news reports to see when the crash was reported, when the crash happened. So, yeah. So, one thing that people that we say as astrologers is make sure that you look at the take notice of any time that Mars is going to transit through either your first house or your sixth house. Why? Because Mars is a malefic, and Mars transits through like the first house or the sixth house. Those can be the potential for accidents or bodily harm. Okay. So this is the time of the crash. This is the time of the crash. This is the time of the crash. Yeah. So we can see here Mars. She has a Mars transit occurring in her sixth house. Yeah, no, this will still be up. This will still be up. Have a good day, boo. Have a good day. So we see Mars is transiting through her sixth house. This is the sixth house of routine. And Mars is in Scorpio. Mars is happy to be there in Scorpio. Yeah, yeah. This right here. This is not good. But her moon, I want you all to look at this. This is literally going to be the death of the princess. Okay? Look down here. look down here. So you have your midheaven, which is the most public, like the ninth and 10th houses, wherever your midheaven is, that is the prominent place. The prominent place is going to get public attention. So absolutely the people, Aquarius, this is absolutely a public thing. But look at this. The IC is considered, if the midheaven is your highest point, the IC is your lowest point. So her moon, okay, her moon, her royal body, okay, her moon. So when we're talking about like personal charts, like a lot of times, like the moon will be a person or people. Her moon, her body, her physical body is here in the underworld. Here in the underworld. Here in the underworld. Sometimes people say that the IC is where death occurs. It just really, really depends on the chart. This was a pivotal point because remember I talked about world points, how things change at the world points, or where the equinoxes and solstices stars, but it's usually like the Aries points, so like 0 degrees and stuff like that. This was key. This was key. Unfortunately, unfortunately for her, this was, yeah, and this, this is a light square. Mars is in a light square. You can see the little thin line right here. This little light square to her body right here. So square, 1, 2, 3. Squares are 90 degrees. So we see this here. But also it's a light square. 1, 2, 3, a light square to her midheaven. So this was squaring her. This, yeah. But her moon, remember her name is Diana. Diana is moon, moon goddess. Okay. I think in like Latin or Greek or whatever like that. Diana, moon goddess. So she is returning to the underground place. Now, let's look at when she was declared dead. She was declared dead. She was declared dead, and this is her moon. But yeah, her moon never got to rise again. Never got to rise again. And we still have this square going on. We still have this square going on. Her moon, she never got to rise. She never got to rise again. She never got to rise again. Um yeah, she never got to rise again. Absolutely sad times. Absolutely sad times. But yeah, she never got to rise again. And yeah, she 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 never made it. She never made it out of that. And I was just like, that's so sad. Um Absolutely so sad that she never got out of it. She never got out of it. She wasn't able to get out of it. So I was like, man, this is crazy. Um, why did I close that out? So I was looking at Virginia Giuffre's chart. Let me pull a Virginia Giuffre's chart. And this is absolutely Oh, before I do that, let me do this one thing. Let me do this one thing. Diana, Prince of Wales, chart one, and then I'm gonna do. Let me do her death chart. Princess Diana declared dead. We're gonna stack them on top. Chart two, and let's see what was going on here. Let's see what was going on here. Yeah. And then, you know, if we put things together, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So if we do it like this, so Mars was, yeah, it was transit in her sixth house, but she was declared dead. You have Mars in Scorpio in the 12th house of endings. Mars in Scorpio in the 12th house of endings. 12th house of endings. So, yeah, 12th house of endings. Yeah. And then it was pretty much, an end to her. The North Node that day, oh shit, it's not even an end. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me go over that again. So, the inner wheel is her birth chart. The outer wheel is when she was declared dead. So you can see here Mars in Scorpio, death, transformation, rebirth. On the day that the crash happened, it was Mars was transiting her sixth house, where we'd be like, uh-oh, there's a potential for illness or accidents or bodily harm when Mars is transiting your first and or sixth house. But putting the when she was declared dead chart on top of her birth chart, we can see here Mars in Scorpio, 12th house of endings, 12th house of closure, 12th house of institutions, hospitals, morgues, funeral homes. Yeah, closure, afterlife, 12th house, 12th house. So yeah. Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely interesting. Absolutely interesting. Yes, it's crazy. Yeah. Oh, listen. Mhm. Listen, it was wild. It was wild. Let me see. Um, let me look at something real quick. Because I remember, so she was born July. Okay, so she was born July of 1961. Okay, okay. Let me look at this. I'm checking the eclipses. 1997 to 1997. Were there any eclipses? Absolutely. So Princess Diana, and if you go back to my video on eclipses in the British royal family, it absolutely is a thing. Listen, listen, there was a let me see this. Let me remove this real quick. Let me remove her first this chart. Let me remove this chart. Okay. So like I said, this was the when she was declared dead. Now, on September 1st, 1997, there was a solar eclipse. Okay. Solar eclipse Um, chart 2. There was a solar eclipse. So are often eclipses are often harbingers, and like back in the old days, eclipses were harbingers of death, especially to royalty and monarchs. So people were just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, eclipses, eclipses." Remember, go back to the eclipse video about the British royals, and there were like kings and queens like dying or being born or being coronated or something like that within 2 weeks of eclipses. Within 2 weeks of eclipses. Look at this. Princess Diana died a day before the solar eclipse of September 1st, 1997. These eclipses are often harbingers. This is why people back in the day were always freaking out about eclipses, because they brought something. They either started something or they ended something. Okay? There was an eclipse the very next day. And then let me see something real quick. Okay, let me find when it was. Let me see. Her funeral. Let me see, when was her funeral? When was her funeral? Come on. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Her funeral was Princess Diana's funeral was held on Saturday, September 6th, 1997. So let's look. Let's look. Let's look. Are there any? Yeah. So this is within 2 weeks. So she was literally, let me see, calculate chart 2. So there was a lunar eclipse, lunar nighttime being laid to rest. There was a um lunar eclipse. I know you fucking lying. Lunar eclipse in the 8th house when you're being led to rest in the sign of Pisces, and this was the moon being laid to rest. This was the lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse was September 16th. That is still within the 2 weeks window. So, so absolutely, they were it is of my opinion that they were absolutely doing stuff to her. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, we can't make this up. We can't make this up. Now, I just want to be nosy real quick. Let me remove this. Let me open up, because I don't know if y'all heard King Charles was got some type of cancer. They ain't say what kind he got. Um, they ain't say what kind he got, but just he got cancer, and he going through the things. So let's see eclipses, because we about to have these eclipses, and I'm not wishing this on him. I just want to look. I just want to look and see. So lunar eclipse will be happening. Ooh, let's calculate the chart. Okay. Chart 2. Okay. So the upcoming total lunar eclipse. The upcoming total lunar eclipse, full on eclipse, is going to be happening on his second house, 8th house axis. And this is, let me see. This is oh, I need to move this a little bit. Yeah, happening here for him in happening in his 8th house. Like I said, I'm not wishing anything on him, but happening in his 8th house. Okay? Um, yeah, at that time Mars will be in Libra. Mars is not happy in Libra. Um, but yeah, so this will be happening in his 8th house. So then we will have and they haven't said what type of cancer it was or anything like that. Then we have the solar eclipse. So when we start getting to eclipse season, so usually like 2 weeks before the eclipse, um, so kind of like end of August, mid to almost end of August, you start seeing, the 2 to 3 weeks before the eclipse, you start seeing crazy shit happening. Uh-huh. So let me see this solar partial eclipse, which is going to be September 21st, 2025 at 29 degrees of Virgo. Okay, let's see where this is happening for him. This is going to be happening for him in his second house. So now the south node is here. Now I'm not saying we'll hear anything about his cancer diagnosis or if he's on the deathbed. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that over historical times, especially as it pertains to the monarchy, the royals, the presidents, people who are rulers and leaders, eclipses are signs of okay, we really need to watch out. Okay. By the time this Mars gets to his by the time Mars gets to his 6th house, that won't be until later on in the year. So we'll have to see about that. But I will say that, Saturn by then will be have retrograded back into Pisces. Remember I told you that was a trash bag. It was throwing away stuff, getting rid of stuff. And the North Node, moving towards that. Saturn, retrograding back into that. We have to keep our eyes to the news and see what happens. Like I said, I'm not wishing anything on him at all. Um, but you know, um, a lot of times people have cancer and they don't make it. There are times when people have cancer, they get treatments and they do make it. So we will keep our eyes to the we're gonna keep our eyes to it, to what's going on with the news. You said Princess Kate also has cancer. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, they said it wasn't prostate cancer. Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. They didn't say what type of cancer he said, and I noticed they kept that under wraps. I noticed they did. Um, one of my husband's good friends has prostate cancer, and he just finished like his treatments, and right now it's looking good for him. Um, so happy to hear that. But yeah, we don't know. King Charles is older, right? Okay, he's older. Let me see. His birthday is November 14th. Let's be nosy and look into his zodiacal releasings. And let's see what perfected year he's in. So he was in a Sagittarius. Ooh. Okay. Let me look at something else. Let me look at something else. So right now his perfected year and perfection years are just every year on your birthday, there's a different planet and sign that rules your entire year. Okay, so you have to check the house that planet and sign is. So November 14th, 2024, when he turned 76, King Charles entered into a Sagittarius slash Jupiter perfected year. Now we can look at his chart, remote chart. Now, so we can see what is his Sagittarius Jupiter ruled chart. That's his 5th house. He has Mars there. Let's see what he's going to and you all can't see this. Um, You all can't see it. I wish you all could, but you can't see it. Um, so he makes it to his birthday this year. So on November 14th, 2025, King Charles will make 77 years old. He will then be entering into a Saturn slash Capricorn profected year, and that is going to be his what? His sixth house. Okay, that's going to be his sixth house. Mars. Let's do this. Let me look for the events. Um, Mars. Let's go. Mars entering sixth house from calculate from. Okay, I'm just gonna have to click through this until we get to it. Oh my God. So, Mars travels quickly. Mars is usually going to get through stuff. Um, Start date, let's see. No, I need December 2020. Okay, that's going to be the start date. Yeah. Well, let me just do ingress. Sun. Let me do Mars ingress into Capricorn. Okay. So, chart 2. Okay. So, being that we saw the sixth house is his Capricorn house. Okay, we're going to see this ingress into Mars ingress into Capricorn, which is his sixth house, December 15th, 2025. So later on this year. So, um, so yeah, like I said, I'm not wishing anything on him. I'm not wishing anything on him, but sometimes they can be difficult transits. I remember Biden had got COVID again I think Mars was transiting his when Mars was transiting his sixth house. That was last year. And we were just like, oh my God, he's already old and feeble. But yeah, so we're gonna have eventually Mars is gonna enter into a square. Hmm. Yeah, up here. So, we have to see, like I said, I'm not wishing anything on anybody at all, but it will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what happens. So let me remove this. Okay, let me see what y'all are talking about here in the chat because I haven't been here at all. Um, Interesting. Stomach cancer, which is more serious than prostate cancer. Yeah. Have either been in the public eye lately? I don't know. Let me go be nosy. King Charles. Let me see what news comes up. Let me see. Is he King Charles in the public? Let me see. I'm being nosy. When was the last time he was really seen? Public appearances. Okay, I'm seeing March. Has King Charles been seen in public? So I'm seeing March. And then I'm seeing July. So recently it says July 2025. But yeah, March. Um, yeah. So April is when he returned to public duties, April 2025. So yeah, the first time he was back in the public eye was back in March. And then maybe again recently, but everything I'm seeing is saying March. So Mystery Moon says, I had a friend beat prostate cancer a couple of years ago. He was young, which is becoming more and more common. Unfortunately, yeah, it is. It is. Oh my goodness. Thank you, sexy RN. She says always learning. Thank you so much for that, girl. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, please go back to um the British monarchy and the eclipses, because when I tell y'all it took me a few days to compile all that information, it really did. It really did. So, we'll see. Now let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I'm just gonna show y'all something. I'm just gonna show y'all something. Oh, let me see something else too. Let me see if I can run his secondary progression real quick. Secondary progression. Hmm. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Let me open up something else real quick because people were talking about it. People were talking about it. Let me see something else. Let me see something else. Okay. Funny how they have some of the same. Interesting. They have some of the same. Yeah, they're just old. So like I was telling y'all, the current president of the United States has let me do this. The current president of the United States, uh-huh. You see that? Regulus at 29 degrees, right conjunct Donald Trump's ascendant. Right conjunct Donald Trump's ascendant. This is why this is absolutely why he be having some of the best luck ever, because he got that Regulus right there, baby. That Regulus. Okay, it is the king, it is the royalty star. Okay, in Leo. Okay, so the ruler of a country, the ruler of a dynasty is usually the son, the king. The son natal the sun's domicile energy. So the sign where a planet is going to have a good time, a good easy time in for the sun, it's the sign of Leo. So yeah, this why he be getting off of shit. This is exactly why he be getting off, because it is dysregulus. This is exactly why. Exactly why. Okay? Exactly why. So I just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. I'm pretty sure we had talked about it before. But yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, girl. Yeah. Not y'all talking about ugh. Yeah, so now I will say that, let's see this. Let's go to now. Mhm. Mhm. So now, let's see, the reason that we've been hearing about, oh my goodness, some of his user base is starting to turn on him and stuff like that, because Uranus is entered Gemini, right? Uranus is in Gemini. This is in Donald Trump's 11th house. So this is the 11th house of groups, networks, friendships. Okay? Groups, networks, and friendships. Uranus comes to shake things up. Uranus comes to make changes. It's usually sudden and abrupt. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So we're hearing this, Uranus is going to be in Gemini for a long time. Okay? Um it's gonna be in there for a good little minute. Okay. Um. So yeah, this is why we're seeing that. Not as time ending anytime soon. Listen, I see people every day and they just be like, is it time? Yeah. Listen, I ain't wishing. Like I've said before, things have to happen Um, because they have to happen. So let me go eclipses. Let me see what's going on with this eclipse right here. So the eclipse is going to happen. Ooh. So the eclipse that's coming up in September. Oh shit. My bad, y'all. My bad. Let me select recently used Donald Trump. Okay. The eclipse. Sorry, I meant to make that this second chart. So this eclipse, this total lunar eclipse that's going to happen is going to occur on his second house, eighth house axis, but this is the moon we're talking about. So it's going to be in his eighth house. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be bad. Eclipses just do things. So we'll see how the news picks up around him, if at all, come, like August 20th or something like that. Usually like a couple weeks, 2 weeks to 3 weeks before the eclipse, we'll see. And then the solar eclipse is going to occur. Calculate chart 2. The solar eclipse is going to happen in his second house. In his second house. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Like I said, I'm not wishing nothing on nobody. I'm not, honey. I'm not. But I know people be asking, like, okay, um, as of right now, I don't see anything that's just like, okay, okay. Um, I mean, so let me see. Yeah, so right now, um, yeah, in his second house. So down here, yeah, it's not completely too, terrible. Listen, I don't wish none on nobody, but but listen, let me go. I don't see anything. Yeah, so he got secondary progressions is like when you progress your planets and then you apply that over it's a timing technique. And you progress it, you sit it over your natal chart, see what has changed, what hasn't changed as far as a person goes. So yeah, his trajectory right now is his progressed north node is over Uranus. So he's in a moving and shaking point right now. He's in a moving and shaking point right now. Um so I mean it just is what it is. I have not tried to look and see when he may potentially I don't do that. Um but I do look and see stuff be nosy. And let me look at his since he's had his birthday, he is in a Pisces perfected year. So his eighth house, he is in an eighth house perfected year. Eighth house, the house of um, you know, other people's money, the house of sex, the house of investments, the house of death and rebirth, inheritance, taxes, transformation. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens to everybody. Everybody. Okay. So now let me was there one more thing I wanted to show you all? Yeah, it was one more thing I wanted to show you all. Um and I haven't been doing super deep dives. Let me just bring up old girl's chart. This is very sad. Virginia Giuffre. She would have been 42 this year if she would have made it. She would have been 42. Um, a lot of who she was as a person. Okay, a lot of who she was as a person. Let me see what y'all saying here in the chat. Okay, Empress Kia is laughing. Y'all laughing. Mystery Moon says, well, today the Lincoln Project put out a commercial saying JD Vance is working behind the scenes to really? Girl, I gotta be nosy. Let me go Google. Lincoln Project JD Vance. Yeah, right now Uranus is in his 11th house, is in Trump's 11th house of friendships, teams, groups, rebellion. Rebellion. Okay. So, yeah, there can be yeah, interesting. Oh, the Lincoln Project. Oh yeah, let me go be nosy. Let me bring this up, honey. Dang. The Lincoln Project. JD has a plan, Donald, and he's out to get you. Somebody said the call is coming from inside the house. Oh Lord, I'm a yeah, buddy. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go be nosy with that. Thank you for that, girl. His toupee. Hey, 504. She said his toupee is always moving and shaking. That is the truth. That is the truth. That's the truth. 504. Interesting. Listen, the call is coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house. But yeah, so Virginia Giuffre, this is her chart. And we can see there was a lot going on with her. And yeah, there was just a lot going on with her. And the biggest thing that to me is sad about her chart is that when we're looking here, look to her third house. Look to her third house. You have Saturn. Okay, we're down here. We have Saturn and Pluto. She has them in a conjunction um in Libra. And your third house is going to be it's your house of communication, but it's also when you're beginning to grow up. So childhood, um this Saturn is almost in her fourth house, almost. So it's giving the energy of foundations, stuff like that. What's interesting is this will be a light conjunction here. The IC, final resting place. Um, yeah, this is just so sad. This is just so sad. That's right, L Boogie. So yeah, Virginia Giuffre was a Sun, Moon, and Leo rising. She does have, I mean, Regulus is here, so people who are Leo risings, the Regulus is gonna be there. It just depends on what it's conjuncting, right? How it's applying. But yeah, the biggest thing is that I see Saturn as um I see Saturn as a malefic where there is strain, where there are hardships. And with Pluto here in her third house, Pluto is power structures. This is conjunct this. She had the energetics of, and then like usually a lot of times when you see like Pluto and Saturn, like in like these houses, this third house, this fourth house, like that, that's abuse. That's abuse. That is abuse. Abuse and yeah, abuse and Yeah, this right here, this is troubled childhood. This is troubled childhood. And if you go read her, the biographies about her or like interviews that she's done, this is abuse. This is abuse. This is abuse. Um yeah, it's actually really sad. It's actually really sad. Her Venus was in Virgo. This isn't Venus don't really play with Virgo like that. Um her second house, that this Venus right here, this is, I don't want to say sexual work, but her currency, the thing that was going to bring her money was how she and her femininity um went about the details of life. Yeah, yeah. And part of her, um it's sad because Venus, belongs in Taurus. So her midheaven in Taurus, her midheaven is reflecting right back down here because Taurus is a Venusian sign. So what she was became popular and known for was this Venus sex type shit. And like I said, the 10th house is our public house, stuff like this. So this is what she became popular or well known for because we all know her as Virginia Giuffre, a Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell victim, right? Um, yeah, so yeah, this is pretty sad, but this is abuse. This is abuse. This is absolutely abuse. Um, what babe talking about? Babe is like, "Are you still clucking with your people?" Yes, I am, my darling. But yeah, so this is abuse. This is abuse. This is hard childhood here. This is hard childhood. She absolutely was a fighter. She absolutely was a fighter. Sun, moon, rising here. She absolutely was a fighter. But this is what having these here in your foundations, that is, I don't want to say trauma, but that is energetic energy that's it's rooted. It's part of who you are. It's part of who you are. That's why you all hear me all the time being just like, screw these degenerates and protect these children and protect these women. And I don't deal in that shit because, like me personally, I have Saturn in my fourth house. But I've told you all that I was sexually abused as a child. So it's there. Energetically, it's there. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm an advocate against all this degenerate ass shit, but this is why. This is why I have Saturn in my fourth house. So, um, you know, so it's there, right? It's there, but yeah. So she also was trying to speak out about it. North Node and Gemini. And listen, I don't believe that people are born to be victims or anything like that. But she definitely used her voice to try and speak out against it. She really, really did. Now, it was said that she unalived herself. It was said that she unalived herself. So let's look at the charts. Yeah, she fought them pedos to the end. Absolutely. Let's look at the chart. So when she passed, um, what did I say about the signature? When we're talking sometimes about death, and or things happening to you, harmfully happening to you, what did I say? Mars transits to the first and or sixth house. Day that she died, I'm not going into whether it's a conspiracy or not. The day that she was no longer here on this earth was April 25th, 2025 in Australia. She was at her home ranch in Australia. I found the city that was closest to it. Different countries have different territories and stuff like that. But this was the time that and this was the time that I could closest get to it. They said there was a police call um to someone unresponsive, and the police call was 9:50, or it was either 9:50 or when they arrived it was 9:50. So this is the time that I could come up with. Mars transit to the first house. Mars transit to the first house, and this was right on her ascendant. Okay, Mars was at 3 degrees of Leo, but right on her ascendant, bringing actual harm to her ascendant. Your ascendant is who you are. On top of that, if we look at the chart, okay, on top of that, um, North Node, North Node in her eighth house, I see this is because you have your four angles. You have your ascendant, your descendant, your midheaven, your IC. Your IC and your midheaven are always going to be on the same angle. The IC, the place of your final resting place. IC conjunct North Node in Pisces. Pisces is a mutable sign when things change. Pisces is the dead of winter. And then we have the malefic here. Remember, Saturn was in Pisces. So the North Node and the IC, final resting place, conjunct Saturn, a malefic, also in Pisces, in her eighth house. The eighth house of death, rebirth, transformation, real estate, taxes, other people's money, inheritance. But yes, the eighth house of death. The eighth house of death. Now, let me check her. Let me check her perfections. So, mhm. So in 2024, when she turned 41, she didn't make it to her birthday. So, but yeah, she was in last year because perfection years go from birthday to birthday every year. Her perfected year was a Capricorn year. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Her Saturn in Pisces. This was the cosmic trash bag. This was the emptying out. This was the ending things. So, yeah. So, so not only was this person Mars, and Mars is bullshit. Okay, Mars is bullshit. Um, going over her ascendant. She was also in a Capricorn Saturn perfected year. So the Lord of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn was in Pisces, death, endings, conjunct her North Node. So that's where she was heading. Okay, you got the IC right there, the final resting place in the eighth house. In the eighth house. So, um, you know, yeah, is very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So, Um, yeah. What do you all think of this? What do you all think about this? And yes, there were conversations about if you read more of her backstory, that her and her husband was having issues and what was going on with her children and things like that. But we can make an astrological argument that whatever happened to her, it was here. It was here. Let me check something else really quick. Like I said, I just be looking at stuff. Let me check something else. Let me do something. Let me do her secondary progression. Let's see if we see anything here. Okay, secondary progressions. Oh, yeah, yeah. So if we look at secondary progressions, where things move, where things change, the outer planets take them a long time to move. But look at this secondary progression of Saturn. Saturn was sitting right on top of her IC, her death, her resting place. The IC, the final resting place. Yeah, it's just, this because this is gonna be for all year. This isn't gonna change. But yeah, so let me look at something else. Let me remove that. Remove. Um, Let me just check her. We looked at her perfection. I'm so sorry you all can't see this. I can't bring this in. But let me see. February, March. Let me see. Here's the zodiacal releasing. Yeah. I'm so sorry, girl. But yeah, so this was, yeah. Let me check something else. April 22nd. Yeah, I do think that even though she's gone now, I do think that she was gone too soon. But that's not for me to I'm not an investigator, that's what was said, about things. So, uh yeah, I know it's not fair. This is why, I tell you all like I know some things are absolutely spiritual, astrological and stuff, and then sometimes it's really like magic. But remember I told you all. I don't know if you all remember last year. I think it was September last year. I was on vacation. But remember I told y'all one of the easiest protection spells is having a community around you that loves you. Trump has a cult, allegedly or whatever. This is all entertainment. But there is a, cult of personality is absolutely a thing. And when people love you like that, that is a form of protection. And no, it's not fair. This is why I'm just saying out here, like, I know people be out here like doing magic and stuff like that. Oh God, this collagen powder is terrible. I know people be out here like doing magic and stuff like that, but and yeah, she got the regulars too. Yeah, yeah, and everything is potential, right? Everything is potential. But everything is absolutely potential. Some things are just, but when you look at some things and you see certain things line up and it just be like, okay. Just like celebrity worship. Celebrity worship has gotten so out of hand that people be like, "Oh, well, they rich or whatever." So, and I'm just like, "No, fuck that," because crimes are crimes and people should go to jail for their crimes, no matter who it is. I was talking with my lash lady yesterday and I'm just like, crimes are crimes. I don't care who does it. You're supposed to go to jail for criminality, for degeneracy. Um, yeah. Yeah, the cult of personality, and they don't realize that he don't care about them. He cares about himself. Okay? He is, but yeah, it's absolutely not fair. Like Princess Diana, she yeah, that when I get into my esoteric bag, so please go back and review somebody put it in here. One of the mods go back and find my what happened to Princess Diana video link and put it in here because I know esoteric sacrifice and ritual when I see it. This is my opinion. Absolutely esoteric sacrifice in my spiritual opinion. Um my spiritual opinion. And but absolutely like cult of personality is a thing. Absolutely. L Boogie says people will dox you for a celebrity pop up at your location mentally ill. Yeah, they will. This is why I don't show my face on here. I don't. Like Nyla knows what I look like. Fuzzy knows what I look like. Journey with Korea knows what I look like. This is why I don't show my face on here. Because people are fucking weird. Yes, I can do magic. Yes, I do protection, but I'm of the thought process that I'm gonna just do multiple things. I'm not gonna put my face on here or like my husband's face or anything like that so people can be weird and try, do all that weird shit. But I'm gonna do my protection work too. Right? Okay. Not being seen on here is a form of protection. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Mystery Moon. So yeah, if y'all have not seen the Princess Diana, what happened to the Princess of Wales? What happened to Diana? Where I break all that down esoterically, go back and watch this video. Go back and watch the other video that I did earlier this year, a few months ago about let's see, this is damn near August now. So earlier this year, I did eclipses and the monarchy, how eclipses, there's either an eclipse before or after a monarch is born, dies, gets coronated, or gets buried throughout the British monarchy. It literally is a thing. So you can't tell me, but see, I already know that kings and queens of yesteryear had spiritual workers. I mean, Queen Elizabeth the first, the queen that never married, John Dee, who was an occult magician who kind of came up with the Enochian angelic um information, but he was also an astrologer. We're not going to forget that Catherine and Medici, Catherine and Medici, the Medici family were into some things. Remember Nostradamus. Okay. So these people, that's like I'm telling y'all, the world does magic. They just tell you not to. Yeah. So thank you so much, Miss Dream Moon, for putting those links in here. So yeah, you know. So it actually is pretty yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Like I said, I know occult ritual when I see it. So, you know, um and absolutely what happened to Diana. You just so happen to hit the 13th pillar. Okay. In a tunnel. You had the moon in the underground, buried in this little yeah, when you go back and watch the video, the little her final resting place inside this um old ancient palatial structure with the Masonic checkerboard. Like the yeah. Listen, they all out here weird. They're all out here weird. You know, there's a lot of inbreeding. But yeah, y'all. So I just wanted to show you all those things. We will have our community day this week. It'll probably either be tomorrow or Saturday. Like I said, I gotta go to the nail salon. It just has to happen. Um, before I start flipping them cards. Okay, y'all ain't finna talk about me. Right. You know, Princess Diana, I showed you her charts. She never got out of the tunnel. She was her moon, her body was ritually buried and killed like in this underground tunnel. And then the names of stuff like it's ritual, baby. It's ritual. Um, it's all ritual. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. And Mr. Hoodoo, he wants to cluck on the phone. I love you, baby. We about to cluck together. We about to cake on the phone. But I love y'all. I will be back tomorrow. But like I said, just reviewing the astrology of certain things, you're just like, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, make sure that you all watch both the eclipses in the British monarchy as well as the What Happened to Princess Diana live stream. The What Happened to Princess Diana live stream, that was like December 2023 or January 2024, I can't remember. So that was a little older, but we talk about it, we discuss it, and go back and watch the eclipses in the British monarchy that was earlier this year. Go back and watch those videos. Okay? And you'll see the things. So, I love you all. Thank you all so much. I will try to be back tomorrow and we can see what we can get into. So I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all. He said, thanks so much, Q. The breakdowns are always so interesting. Yes, they are. You're welcome, boo. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, please go back and watch. Please go back and watch. So everyone have a great evening. I love y'all. I'm see y'all on the flip side. Y'all be good to each other.